I'd like to talk briefly about people that could be spoken more about in the Bible in relationship to the story of the covenants and Hagar. How about some of the people we do know their name, okay? But still don't know much about them. What do you know about Keturah? It was faith that made Abraham able to become a father, even though he was too old, and Sarah herself could not have children. So how many sons did he have? No.
Two.
No. No? 8. Who was his first son? Ishmael. Okay? With Hagar. Okay? Part of the story today. Who was his second son? Isaac. Okay? With Sarah, the miracle child. Okay? Genesis 25:1. After Sarah died, Abraham married Keturah and had 6 sons. Okay? What do you know about those 6 sons? You know any of them? Okay? Exactly where I'm going. The Mideonites. Who was their son? One of the sons was Midian. What do you know about the Midianites? There's several stories in the Bible about Midianites. What's the first one? Who was Joseph sold to?
The Midianites.
He was sold to the Midianites. Okay? Where did Moses flee when he was escaping from the consequences of Pharaoh? Exodus 2:16. The land of Midian. Okay? So he arrives at this well in Midian, and these girls show up with their father's flock. Their father had only girls, and so the girls were the shepherds rather than the guys. And when they showed up to the well, they got run off by these male shepherds. And Moses shows up and says, no. These girls were here first. And so he watered all these sheep and everything for the ladies. And the ladies went home and said, guess what? This guy helped us. We're home early because this guy helped us water the sheep. We're not home late like we always are because this guy ran off the other guys and he helped us. And we're home early. Who was their dad? Jethro. Who was Jethro? High priest of Midian. High priest of Midian. Where do they live? On the east side of the Sinai Peninsula. But as you follow along the stories of Midian, who solicited Balaam to curse Israel? The Midianites. Who were the ones who led the children of Israel into immoral behavior on the very threshold of Canaan at Peor? The Midianites. Who did Gideon defeat? The Midianites. Why were they warring against Israel? These were their cousins. So let's think about the life cycle or the life trajectory or whatever of Midian, the son of Abraham. Okay? He was one of the sons of Abraham. He grew up in Abraham's family. Okay? He was circumcised with all the other kids, all of the male sons. Okay? All the servants and all his sons got circumcised. Okay? He grew up and watched godly worship within Abraham's household. He was one of Abraham's sons. He was given an inheritance. In chapter 25, Abraham gave him an inheritance prior to his death. Okay? He was one of the sons that showed up to bury Abraham, along with Ishmael. Isaac, Ishmael were the main 2 sons who buried him, along with his other 6 sons. Okay? One of his subsequent family members was a high priest, a worshiper of the true God. But the farther they got away from Abraham, the more their trajectory was influenced by Moab and other people who were around them, to the point where by the time Moses came along, they were worshiping in immoral ways. Eventually, they became the blood enemies of their cousins and warred against them and subdued them, stealing their food to the point of starvation. When Gideon was approached by the angel, where was he? In a dry well.
Hiding, threshing grain.
In a dry well. Threshing grain so they wouldn't see him, so they wouldn't steal it and make his family starve. These were his cousins that were doing this to him. Okay? There has been a great deal of criticism of the path that God has chosen in guiding the children of Israel in the Old Testament.